Control that kills relationships. On restoring relationships. From a male psychologist. Control gives a person the illusion of freedom, but in reality, once you start building your behavior on control, you shackle yourself and walk toward a cell, slamming the door behind you. Then, you find yourself locked in a prison with a bag of illusions, telling you that you chose this place yourself. And that is the false feeling of freedom. At the moment of a breakup, the illusions collapse. You see bare walls and a prison where you lack sunlight and oxygen. That is the starting point. What to do next is up to you. How the desire to control makes you lose your attractiveness. Most people I work with fall into two types. The first want mechanisms to influence the girlfriend's psyche to regain control of the situation. The second want to understand the situation and their mistakes so they won't repeat them. The latter get both a restored relationship and personal evolution. The former sometimes get the other person's renewed interest, but don't know what to do next or how to behave. So when the girlfriend decides to restore the relationship, they pull out a list of conditions and impose a dictatorship, or they start melting down again. The girlfriend gets disappointed and leaves shortly after. Your control is invisible to the girlfriend at the very start, but later it becomes apparent, while you yourself might not notice it at all. Your attractiveness depends on your personality, on all your resources, and the processes running within it. It's a holistic assessment, and basic attractiveness to the opposite sex isn't that hard to achieve. Each of your resources simply needs to be in a phase of development. Growth should be at least decent in every aspect so that your personality has shape. If you make money but don't take care of yourself, your personality looks defective. If you're navel-gazing and finding yourself, but living in your mom's apartment at 35, no one will value you properly because you look disproportionate as a person. If you have a good job and look good but only talk about your work and appearance, you're again disproportionate. I'll cover more about cultivating attractiveness without pickup and other pseudosciences in future videos. For now, what is control in relationships? There is overt control. These are people who explicitly forbid the girlfriend concrete things. You won't go. You won't do that. I forbid it. More or less reasonable women are not available to such a man. He will choose from simpler girlfriends who don't have strong demands and will tolerate that role because of their own complexes. The man will be perpetually unhappy, wanting a girlfriend on his level, yet such a woman never wants him. There is covert control. A man wants to control but understands it's not good. Such men do have intellect and the ability to realize they might be wrong at times. That's hooray, but it's still bad. He doesn't forbid, but the control schema remains in his head. How does it show up? Through manipulation. He structures dialogue to subtly devalue the girlfriend's thoughts and impose his own. A girlfriend reads such things very easily, even if he does it non-explicitly. If you raise a child inside an apartment, he'll grow up and live within that apartment's bounds. He'll love his parents, but at some point, he'll see a door and want to know what's behind it. When he's forbidden, his rosy world begins to crumble, the world where parents give him full freedom. He understands he long ago outgrew the apartment's walls, and he begins, however faintly, to wish for the disappearance of his close ones. Why? Because the parents now play the role of a barrier to happiness, and the only possible solution in his mind is that they must vanish. This shows human egoism. At the base level, we need our own happiness, and if the girlfriend does not engage in deep self-analysis, be sure her primary interest is her own happiness. You were initially attractive because your attractiveness had an objective look. You looked good, joked well, maybe had a decent income. From there, it depends on your mistakes and key situations that arise. Restoring the relationship and control. The videos I've published on restoring relationships work precisely because they're grounded in shedding your own shortcomings. With ecological behavior, The woman gets visible anchors of your changes. After a breakup, all the information you want to convey doesn't get past the girlfriend's outer boundaries. It doesn't enter. So your epics about how you'll change won't even reach her mind. When her psychological field gives her a feeling of hunger and she sees the absence of defects, she opens her boundaries to you again. If a man has gone through all the stages correctly, he stops trying to control the girlfriend. If not, he needs guarantees again, starts commanding again, and if that fails, begs for her attention. Responsibility for the man's happiness is once more laid on her. What does the girlfriend feel? When she decides to return, she notices the reemergence of feelings after they had gone. It's a sprout, an embryo. A man who uses everything I talk about in my videos as manipulation gets this visible sprout. What does he do next? He thinks the girlfriend now idolizes him, and he dumps on her the whole range of feelings accumulated during his loneliness. She was the cause of his happiness when she left, and she remains that in his mind. She's been deceived. Yes, deceived. Upon returning, she sees an individual man, but right after reconciliation, she's asked to merge. She doesn't understand why, so she unconsciously tests by distancing. And here, most often, men start humiliating themselves again, because they still haven't understood anything. Opening the boundaries. You do not fling your boundaries open after restoration. You observe and respond. Keep yourself for yourself. Don't show off that you've changed. Don't talk about it, and don't take pride in it. Did you want to restore the relationship? Be glad it happened. But don't forget this isn't the end. The same laws that led to the breakup are still in force. And during your time alone, you should have rebuilt yourself, not just waited for the girlfriend to decide to come back.